Welcome back to my channel. Today, we explore the value of specific coins, the most valuable 5 euro-cent coins value in market. First up, the 2007 5 euro-cent coin. At first glance, it appears to be nothing more than small pocket change, worth just 5 cents, passed from hand to hand without any attention. But many collectors today are starting to look more carefully at everyday coins, wondering whether certain dates, countries, or conditions might make an ordinary piece of copper-plated steel worth more than its face value. So the big question is, what is the real value of a 2007 5-cent coin in fine condition on today's market, especially when converted into US dollars? The truth is that most 5-cent euro coins from 2007 are still quite common. Millions were struck across several Eurozone countries, which means the majority of these coins remain easily available in circulation. Because of this, most of them do not command high prices. However, collectors do look at certain specific factors that can slightly increase a coin's value. One of the most important is condition. Even though fine condition is decent, it still means the coin shows light wear from circulation. Fine coins may have small scratches, minor smoothing, or a bit of dullness. Collectors typically pay a premium only for coins in uncirculated or nearly uncirculated condition, where the coin's original shine and crisp details are still present. Another factor that influences value is the country that issued the coin. Each Eurozone country uses the same reverse design, but the obverse, the national side, varies. Some countries mint far fewer coins than others, and collectors sometimes seek.
Next up, the 1999 5-euro-cent coin. This coin is especially meaningful because 1999 was the very first year the euro currency was introduced for non-cash use. And even though euro coins only entered circulation in 2002, many member countries had already prepared their coin designs and mintages ahead of time. Because of this early date, collectors are always curious about whether a 1999 coin could be worth more than its simple 5-cent face value. So today we're going to explore its story, its condition, and what a realistic value looks like on the current market, especially when the coin shows normal wear and some scratches. A 1999 5-cent coin is part of the very first generation of euro coinage. What makes this year interesting is that it marks the beginning of the euro era, a major change in European monetary history. Some collectors feel a special connection to this early date because it represents the transition from national currencies to a unified system. Although these coins weren't physically used until 2002, the 1999 year still remains an important milestone for the euro. However, even though this date feels special in a historical sense, the majority of 1999 5-cent coins are not rare. Several countries minted large quantities in preparation for the euro rollout. Because millions of these pieces exist, most of them remain easy to find today. When a coin is common, the thing that matters most is condition, and in this case, the coin is described as good condition with some scratches. A coin in good condition still shows clear details and readable features, but the scratches and circulation wear reduce collector demand. It does not compare to an uncirculated example, which holds far more value due to its sharp lines and original luster. Collectors often pay premium prices only for coins in top-grade conditions. With that in mind, what is the real market value for a 1999 5-cent coin today? In most cases, a circulated coin with some scratches will sell for very modest amounts. Realistically, it may be valued at around its face value, perhaps dollars above that or up to thousands of dollars to the right collector who simply needs the date or country for their collection. The fact that it is from the first year of euro minting can help its appeal slightly, but scratches and wear limit its potential price. Online listings sometimes show high asking prices, especially for early-date euro coins, but these numbers are usually optimistic and rarely reflect actual completed sales. Collectors are careful, and most want strong condition before paying higher amounts. Still, the 1999 5-cent coin remains a meaningful piece for people who enjoy collecting euro currency. Even with scratches, it represents an important moment in European history. If you own one, it's worth keeping as part of a starter collection or as a curiosity from the early days of the euro. Though its financial value is low, usually under $1, its historical value and personal collecting interest can be much higher.
Next up, the 2005 5-euro-cent coin. At first glance, it seems completely ordinary. A simple copper-plated steel coin that has been in circulation across Europe for 2 decades. Millions of people have handled these coins without ever considering that some dates and mintings may carry slightly more collector interest than others. But once you start looking at coins from a collector's point of view, small details begin to matter. And even a simple 5-cent piece raises the question, how much is it really worth in today's market? The 2005 5-cent coin is part of the early generation euro coinage, which makes it slightly more interesting to collectors who focus on the early years of the common currency. However, despite being nearly 20 years old, the 2005 mintage is still generally considered common. Many Eurozone countries produced large quantities of 5-cent coins during that period, meaning examples from 2005 are still widely available. For collectors, rarity is one of the biggest drivers of value, and unfortunately for this particular year, rarity is not a strong factor. Condition plays a major role as well, and in this case, the coin is described as being in very fine condition with some scratches. Very fine means the coin shows noticeable but moderate wear, with most major details still visible and only some smoothing on the higher points of the design. This is better than average circulation wear, but it is still far from uncirculated. The presence of scratches does lower desirability slightly, since collectors often prefer pieces that show minimal marks and surfaces that look as original as possible. Scratches are among the most common reasons a coin's value stays close to face value. Different Eurozone countries issued their own national sides of the coin, and some nations had smaller mintages than others. For certain countries, a 2005 5-cent coin can attract a little more interest, especially if the nation struck fewer coins that year. But even then, the added value tends to be modest, particularly when the coin is not in high-grade condition. A very fine coin with scratches will usually not command a premium unless a collector specifically needs that exact country and year to complete a set. When looking at real-world market value, most 2005 5-cent coins in very fine condition are worth close to their original 5 cents. Some may sell for a bit more, perhaps $250 in specific cases, but these are exceptions rather than the rule. Online listings might show higher asking prices, but actual sold prices usually reflect modest demand, especially when a coin shows normal signs of use. Collectors typically reserve higher spending for coins that are uncirculated, error strikes, or from extremely low mintage nations. Even if the monetary value isn't high, owning a 2005 5-cent coin in very fine condition is still interesting from a collector's perspective. It represents the early years of the euro, carries the history of its issuing country, and helps complete yearly sets for beginners and dedicated collectors alike. Coins like this remind us that value isn't always measured in money. Sometimes it's found in the small stories and connections these tiny metal pieces carry through time.